Hello and welcome to Optimal Game State. We've just had the previews and everyone's really hyped about lots of cool stuff out, but I'm back on my bullshit. So this is the third of the magazines, and this one has a bunch of liberators. Sorry, Mr. Radley. Let us see what we get. Okay, so as I understand it, these three sprues are half of a kit of 10 and they are identical. Um, for most of the fighters, I think you do get two heads. I think you get a. I think you do get a helmeted head, but you also get a not helmeted head. So we're probably going to try to do a lot of helmeted heads. One of the fighters, I think it's just one, gets to have a two-handed hammer, and boom, boom, boom. I think there are options to have. Yeah, look, those are two different hands. So there are options to have two weapon wielders, be two single hammers, so not a shield. As you can see here, we've just got it with shields, and we've got the two-hander here. So one of the things that they do with these magazines is they often will provide you a simple set of instructions, so you don't have all of the options that you normally would. Right, let's see what we're looking at. Stormcast. Cool. Okay. I'm sure it's all a lie, because, there was some fine print. Again, I'm not too worried about the magazine. We have Azir. Cool. Skunk. Okay. Oh, okay. So this is a spearhead that we're building out. So we're going to have 5 of these and one of these. That's interesting. So 2 more magazines, and then we'll have painted up a full spearhead. And I actually thought it was going to be 10 of these, but 5 is fine. They look like they're going to be cool, so yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so what do we have here? So it is giving you options. It's kind of cool. Those just bits. And it is... Oh, okay, awesome. So they are showing that you do have options here, and then you can do different constructions. Because often, one of my recommendations when you get these is actually to look for the instructions from the bigger kits. And normally, one of the Reddit there's an instructions Warhammer instructions Reddit where you can often get people saving them. So that can be quite useful if they've got a kind of standardized version. But I'm impressed. Yeah, they've given us options. So we will do probably maybe we'll see a couple of two-handers. Some tips on painting. Profiles for the fighters. Talking about what brand is. And then a tutorial. Again, this is stuff we're not really interested in. I am now going to assemble these models. And then I will come back. So I'll be doing it like I normally do it. Which means I will be putting a texture on the bases. I'll be using a roller to get a pattern out of it, and then I'll push the models in. That's how I normally roll. But yeah, we'll all see that in a bit. Okay, models assembled. So we're in all 3 variants. So we can only do one of the double-hand hammer. So I've done that. She looking good. As you can see, I've used brown stuff and a roller, and I've got a bit of a texture in there. So we'll be doing that in the dark blue, in the turquoise that I do for my City miniatures and my Undead miniatures and my Cities of Sigmar. So I've been definitely working on a Cities of Sigmar versus Soul Blight Graveyards, or the City, I guess, thematically. Okay, so she's good. We also did 2 of these. So this is the double hammer variant. As you can see, we are doing it without any helmets. I don't actually like the helmets on this new version of the Stormcast armor. And then these are the shield bearers, so just one hammer. And I've left the shields off to do them separately just to make it a little bit easier on myself. The kit's nice. Most of the guys are a head, a front and a back, and then an arm and an arm. The heads do have pegs. What I probably should have done, if I wanted to be fancy, I don't want to be fancy, is remove the peg off of the heads and then put the heads in separately. So paint them separately and be able to make them look good and then glue them in rather than having them with the peg. So that is an option. As you can see, there are lots of bits left over. So essentially there's enough shields to do a shield for everyone. There's enough main hands to do a main hand for everyone. So the one with the double-handed hammer can get switched over. And how many then is left? So that's one. So that's her. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay, so I'm not actually sure anymore. Possibly you could do everyone with two-handed hammers. This one's for this side, so that's her. So those two are there, and then this one would be him. And then one more. Yeah, so you could do everyone with two-handed hammer or two one-handed hammers. And I think there might be some slight variance. No, there's not. So the leader has a slightly different shoulder. So you can see it's a lion. I think there might be some other specific iconography. I think that's the main part. So yeah, these kits will you'll be able to make them up pretty well. And as I said, you do have different helmets, so right now all of these can be done in a bunch of different configurations. We do have a little bits of plug scenery, which I haven't been using. It's stuff I definitely could use. I normally clip these off to the side and end up using them eventually. That one's kind of cool. Oh, there's another guy's head here. I wonder how. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so that's a unhelmet. I thought I'd use all the unhelmeted heads, but I've actually got one left over, which is very cool. Anyway, yeah, that's good. Okay, here we go. So they're very, very, very white, but basically it is a dry brush over it. So there are still patches of grey, and especially when you look underneath, it gets a bit darker. Anyway, these guys are going to mostly be black. So it's more to kind of get that contrast. The Black Templar we'll be using will actually do it quite nice. If we didn't want to get that contrast, we'd use the Black Legion contrast, which is very good for just getting it straight over black. Anyway, things I wanted to mention here. Okay, when you have a model, one of the things that you need to decide to do is how you are going to paint it. And if you're Darren Latham, what you do is you start on this leg and you fully paint up this leg, and then I think you stop. But one of the things to consider is, do I want to color the most prominent color and then just get all of that done? So that'll be the majority of the work. Or do I want to paint from the inside out? So in this case, it is the black contrast that we're going to be doing over much of the armor. For gold, we'll do some silver. We will maybe have some touches of red. Actually, I'm not sure where the red will necessarily sit on these guys. But the accent is supposed to be red. But in this case, what I wanted to point out was this is actually a really tight spot. So what we kind of want to do, what we want to do is we want to get this good. We want to get this done. So we're probably going to do this first and then be super careful around it. So I think everything that is bordering the mouth or the face is going to be golds. So a gold trim at the edge. So if we can do the faces first, and we're going to do them relatively quick. We're going to go in with Guilliman contrast, and then we're going to lighten it up. So we're not going to do something super special. As I mentioned earlier, if we wanted to do this kind of a higher level, what we would have done is we'd left the heads off, clip the peg inside, and then just glue them down afterwards after we painted them separately. So stick them on something else to paint. But yeah, in this case, I'm going to do that first. Once I've got that done, then I'm going to go and do the rest of it. And again, so as I always do, we're just going to get base colors in for the most part. I'm going to skip ahead with the face because the face is going to be kind of messy. And then we're going to be super, super careful with that gold because if we mess up that gold, we're going to have to go back to the face. But if we can get those face sections out of the way, then the rest should be relatively smooth sailing. It is going to be getting black on, and then we're going to be doing our normal black layers, which are blues and greys. And that should be most of the model, to be honest. We'll have some metal bits. We'll do some screamer pink for the hilts. I'm really enjoying the Gagrix, um, whatever that color is for the brown. Gagrix Sewer, isn't it? Something like that. And then we'll be done. Yeah. So I'm probably actually going to start with the bases because they're a bit of fun. We'll do them black. We'll dry brush them up, and then we'll go on and do some faces. Anyway, I'm probably going to skip ahead until the point where. Yeah, actually, maybe what I'll do is I'll check in next when I've got the face done. We can just kind of see where we're at. Okay, and here we are. So I still haven't done the black, but you can see I have done the faces. Sure, it doesn't necessarily showing up, but we've dotted the eyes of white, and then we've gone over with some frost heart contrast to give it that kind of lightning eyes glow, which is a very Sigmar thing to do. Just looks fun. Uh, I put in some details. So I put in the reds. I put in some of the leather. I think that's really all it is. I probably shouldn't have. I probably should have waited till I do the black. So the next step is I'm going to be putting black basically over everything else. I can put the black underneath the where the gold and where the silver is going to be. So I'm kind of free to put black everywhere. And in fact, I have found often with the metals putting it under the white doesn't always look right. So I like to do everything black. So I'm going to do lots of blacks and yeah, let's see where we go from there. Hopefully it's not focused. Okay, and here we go. As you can see, I put a ton of black everywhere. I haven't really done much with it. They look quite cool right now, actually. I'm liking the very Raven Guard black at the moment. Um, so we still need to do metallics, and I do need to highlight the blacks. So we will work our way through that next. Okay, and we've got them done. So what did I leave it on? Obviously, we did the black. So the black has some kind of bluey grey highlights into it. See the better there. And we did the silvers, we did the golds, and then there's a couple of details done. So once you get the black out of the way, there's actually not a lot. One thing I do like doing with the silvers is I do like putting Griff Charger Grey. That's something that PG likes doing. And I think it really works really well for a Stormcast. It kind of gives it a kind of it gives the silver a kind of bluey sheen about it that looks quite nice. Looks reminiscent of the kind of lightning that they have. For the golds, who is this? Oh, I can't remember. I might put some links, but one of the gold versions I like doing is use Canoptic Grey or Canoptic Alloy, and then use something like Gorgrunta over it to kind of orange it up a little bit. But in this case, what I've done is I've also taken that Griff Charger Grey. So it ends up being a bit of a gold, but it ends up being a very muted and kind of old looking gold, if that makes sense. I think it kind of works quite well for these hammers, or Anvils of Heldenhammer. So these are the Stormcast that are heroes that were dead, that Sigmar snatched back from. Who's the god of the dead again? Nagash, of course. There are lots of gems on these. For those gems, my go-to is the technical Spirit Stone Red, which is nice and handy. So you just basically paint it silver and then do it over. Really, there's not much to it. It is just a red gloss paint. Yeah. And we're done. So I'm happy enough with it. Like the last time, I will throw up some pictures. These guys are ready to get out and, I don't know, maybe kill some vampires, defeat some undead. I'm not sure what the Heldenhammers do, presumably lots of killing. Oh, the Ossiarch Bone Reapers. They hate the Bone Reapers, of course. But yeah, it's
Well,
anyway, I'm going to shut this video down. Have a great week, and I will talk to you soon.
thanks for making it all the way to the end. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Each week I put up a new video talking about one of Games Workshop's specialist games. The goal is always to try and make the best possible two-player experience. If this is something you'd find interesting, please subscribe to the channel and comment to let me know what you'd like to see in future.